January 1959. 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, began a routine winter expedition deep into the frozen Ural Mountains. Their goal, Otorten Mountain, a challenging but familiar route for these seasoned adventurers. Spirits were high, cameras clicking. They were expected back by February 12th. When they didn't arrive, concern grew. A search party was dispatched. Days later, on February 26, searchers found something chilling. Their tent, partially collapsed, on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl. But it wasn't just collapsed, it was torn violently from the inside. A desperate escape, or something far worse. Inside, their belongings were neatly arranged. Boots, warm clothes, food. Everything they would need to survive the brutal cold. Why would they flee into a blizzard, barefoot and lightly dressed, abandoning vital equipment? The first inconsistency emerged. Tracks led away from the tent, a trail of bare feet, socks and single boots heading towards a distant forest line. Under a towering cedar tree, the first 2 bodies were found, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko, freezing to death. Their hands were torn, bark ripped from the tree. They had tried to build a fire, a desperate, futile attempt at warmth. But the strangest detail, Krivonishenko's body showed signs of radiation, a disturbing, inexplicable anomaly. Nearby, Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin were found, spread out as if trying to return to the tent. Slobodin had a fractured skull, not enough to kill him, but a severe blow. What caused it? A fall? An attack? The remaining 4 were discovered months later, in May, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine. Their injuries were horrific. Lyudmila Dubinina and Semyon Zolotaryov had crushed chests comparable to a car crash. Yet, no external wounds, no bruises, no broken skin. The force was internal, crushing them from within. Dubinina was missing her tongue and eyes. Alexander Kolevatov had multiple fractures and internal bleeding. Unimaginable trauma. Some bodies were partially stripped, their clothes found on other victims. A desperate exchange for warmth, or something else. The clothing of Dubinina and Kolevatov also tested positive for radiation. The bizarre anomaly was not isolated. Soviet investigators closed the case quickly. The official verdict: an unknown compelling force. A chilling, empty explanation. 60 years later, the questions still haunt. What force could inflict such trauma without leaving external marks? Was it an avalanche? Scientists initially dismissed this. The tent's location, the tracks, didn't fit the profile. A paradoxical undressing due to hypothermia? Perhaps, but it doesn't explain the internal injuries or the radiation. Local Mansi tribesmen were interrogated. Their legends spoke of spirits, but they had no motive, no history of violence. Military involvement? Secret weapons testing? The radiation readings fueled these theories, but concrete evidence was scarce. Witnesses reported strange orange spheres of light in the sky around the area that night. UFOs? Mass hallucination? The declassified files offered little clarity. Redacted sections, missing pages. The Soviet secrecy only deepened the suspicion. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the investigation. A new theory emerged: a slab avalanche, a rare type. The idea: a small delayed avalanche loosened by their tense weight, causing them to cut their way out in panic. They fled downhill, seeking shelter, but the brutal cold and harsh terrain proved deadly. This explains the freezing. The internal injuries? Perhaps from falling into the ravine or being crushed by snow in the dark. A plausible explanation. But what about the radiation? The missing tongue? The strange orange lights? the avalanche theory doesn't account for everything. Forensic reanalysis has been ongoing. Experts have simulated the events, desperately seeking a coherent narrative. One theory suggests infrasound, low-frequency sound waves, could have induced panic, disorientation, and even internal trauma. Such waves can be generated by wind interacting with mountain topography. Could the mountain itself have been their killer? This could explain the irrational flight, the lack of external struggle, the sense of compelling force. But how does infrasound cause crushed ribs and missing tongues? The pieces still don't quite fit together. The paradoxical undressing is often cited. Extreme hypothermia can cause victims to feel burning hot and shed clothes. But the deliberate cutting of the tent, the internal injuries, the radiation, these remain stubbornly outside this explanation. Every proposed solution unravels when confronted with another piece of evidence. The puzzle remains stubbornly incomplete. The hikers' diary entries, their last photographs, paint a picture of a normal, albeit challenging, expedition. Their final photo, taken hours before their deaths, shows nothing unusual, just a group of friends enjoying the snow. What happened in those final, terrifying hours? What drove them from their tent to their agonizing deaths? The mountain holds its breath, shrouded in snow, keeping its secrets close. A silent, unforgiving witness. Could it have been a combination of factors? A small avalanche followed by extreme weather, leading to panic and disorientation. But the specific, brutal injuries, the missing tongue, the radiation, these elements defy simple environmental explanations. The unknown compelling force remains the most honest, if unsettling, conclusion. A force beyond our current understanding. Generations have speculated. Documentaries made, books written. Yet the truth feels as distant as ever. The Dyatlov Pass incident serves as a chilling reminder of nature's power and humanity's vulnerability. It's a story that challenges logic, defies explanation, and whispers of something profoundly unsettling in the wilderness. Imagine the terror. Trapped, exposed, facing an unseen enemy or an unimaginable natural phenomenon. The frantic cutting of the tent, a desperate gamble for survival. But survival from what? The scattered bodies, miles apart, tell a fragmented story of panic, confusion, and ultimately, defeat. Each discovery, each autopsy report, peeled back a layer, only to reveal deeper, more disturbing questions. The internal injuries, the radiation, the missing body parts, these are not the hallmarks of a simple accident. They speak of a force, intelligent or elemental, that was utterly devastating and utterly bewildering. The Soviet government's quick closure of the case, the secrecy surrounding it, only fuels the darkest theories. Was there something they didn't want the world to know? A cover-up of a catastrophic experiment? Or was the truth simply too disturbing, too incomprehensible, even for a powerful state to admit? The Dyatlov Pass stands as a monument to the unknown, a place where reality bent and horror took hold. The 9 hikers sought adventure, camaraderie, and the beauty of the frozen north. Instead, they found an end so bizarre, so violent, that it defies all human understanding. The last moments of their lives, a frantic scramble in -30 degrees, remain shrouded in impenetrable mystery. No definitive answer, no satisfying conclusion, just a cold, hard mountain and its terrible secret. The wind howls through Dyatlov Pass, carrying whispers of what might have been and what truly happened. Each gust seems to echo the screams that were never heard, the terror that gripped those 9 souls. The mountain remains impassive, enduring, its frozen peaks guarding a truth too horrifying to fully comprehend. And the world continues to wonder, what unknown compelling force claimed the lives of the Dyatlov group? The answer, perhaps, lies forever buried beneath the unforgiving snow of Kholat Syakhl, the dead